God will open emotional doors for you. Let's cash in with a penny for my thoughts and talk about it. I feel like God will open doors for you emotionally, not just materialistically, but emotionally. And I feel like those doors are opened by like a skeleton key. Like you may feel like one emotion is opening one door, but it's really opening others. It's really your emotional evolvement may be for one thing, but it also can be for a bunch of other different things. And I say that because I went through that myself. You know, I used to be a person that didn't quite like to speak a lot. I wasn't vulnerable. I more kept everything into myself. And I wasn't like the type of person that would say I was in hurt or say I was in pain. It would come out as like anger. And God was like, you know what? You need to separate your pain from your anger. You need to become more vulnerable. You need to become more open. And I thought it was just about, you know, life or just about a relationship and things like that. But then I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? It's more of what I'm doing now. Like, I feel like I wouldn't be as much talkative and transparent and open I am now to even do these videos if God didn't heal me in my being open and being vulnerable and living in my truth. And I think of it like as like a skeleton key where, you know, it's not just opening one doors, it's opening other doors of emotion, other doors of opportunity. And I feel like opportunity isn't just materialistic, it is spiritual, it is evolvement emotionally. Opportunity to open a door of vulnerability that you're opening other doors, evolving in your mindset, evolving in how to handle stress. I even handle stress differently than what I used to. I even handle pain differently than what I used to. I even handle anger differently than what I used to. And I feel like it opens a door to peace. And I'll just think about it. I was like, you know what, God, thank you, because I have so much more peace as an adult than I had maybe as a teenager or as a kid. Because I went through a lot. Like, I went through a lot. And that hardened me in certain areas. And I just felt like I couldn't be vulnerable. I felt like I had to just be hard all the time. I felt like I had to just hold in and just appear to have it all together. And really, I'm breaking down inside. And God evolving me and just being like, look, you need to be more vulnerable. Help me in so many ways. Help me to make these videos. Help me to how to evaluate what's stressing me out, how to, even with my anxiety, how to evaluate that, how to be more open and live in my truth, because living in your truth is one of the most best things that you can do. To just say, hey, I'm not feeling it today. Hey, I'm afraid, I'm in pain, all of that, living in your truth. And I thank God so much for giving me a vulnerability lesson. And when I tell you it came out of nowhere, it kind of came out of nowhere. And I spoke about this in another video of me just minding my own business. Just, I think I was driving from work and out of nowhere, just popped in my mind, you need to be more vulnerable. And I don't ignore things like that, because I was like, you know what? I do. And from then on out, I was like, you know what? I need to open up. I need to be more vulnerable. I need to get in touch with my vulnerability side because, it's said that women are more vulnerable. Women are more emotional, but sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes, if you've been through a lot of things, if you've been through a lot of things and felt like you had to hold it all together on your own, that's not the case sometimes. And there are some women, and I was one of them, who had to learn how to be vulnerable, who had to learn how to say I'm hurt, who had to learn to shed a tear and not feel weak about it. And God helped me so much with that. And it don't even have anything to do with even being a woman, because in society, men are made to look like they can't shed a tear or they can't be hurt or whichever. And that's even harder for them. But it's also, like I say, hard for some women too. And not everybody is the same. Not everybody is built the same. Not everybody come from the same walk of life. Not everybody deal with things the same way. And I am here to say that. I am here to say that I was not always the most transparent person. When I come in my videos, as you can see, I'm very transparent. I was not always this person. God literally helped me through this. And I can't even say it's something I asked for. I can't even say that. I didn't say, like, you know what, God, I want to be more vulnerable. No, he told me, no, you need to be more vulnerable. You need to be more open. You need to stand more in your truth. And I thought it was more about, okay, well, I need to be more vulnerable in my marriage, in my relationship. And I thought that's what it was all about. And it helped. It helped in my marriage and it helped in my relationship. But then as I grow and evolve, I'm like, okay, God, this ain't just the door that you wanted it to open. It's other doors that you want me to open emotionally with this. Be more transparent. Be more, help others. Speak about some of the things that you've went through. Speak about that. Because when you talk about it, it not only heals you, it heals others. And it's a two-way healing thing. You talking about it, healing others while you're doing it, and also healing yourself. And if you got to continuously go through the healing process of, whichever, it is so beneficial, so beneficial. And I just thank God about it. And I was just sitting there the other day, just thinking about, like, you know what, God, you have brought me through so much emotionally. Like, I can thank God for the materialistic things. I can thank God for, all the things I have and family and health. But the emotional, and I've said this before, I thank God for the emotional, the evolvement, the spiritual evolvement is nothing like it. Nothing like it. Like, I would not even be in my mindset emotionally person I am right now if God wasn't like, you know what? This is what you need to change within yourself today. And though I felt like I wasn't worthy at times, I was always willing. Like, you know what? I do need to change. I do need to be more vulnerable. I do need to be more open. It's hard trying to make yourself look like you got it all together. It's hard. It really is. Not only that, it burdens you because it makes you feel like, I got to hold all together. And if I crumble, then people gonna look like, oh, well, I thought he had it all together. Oh, I thought she had it all together. And it's hard. The pro is you're in control, but the con is you're really not. Your control is an illusion. Not only that, it also goes to mention that it makes people not really check up on you as much. Like, oh, they get it all together. They always hold it all together. They don't need me. They don't need a kind word. They don't need this. They don't need that. That's the con of it. And Sometimes you sit back and you think to yourself, well, there's nobody checking me, there's nobody this and that. But, you put out there that you're fine. You're completely fine. And there's sometimes people can look right through it. And then there's sometimes some people just like, okay, they're fine, whichever. And that's hard. I'm going to tell you, it is hard. It's hard to live your life feeling like you have to have it all put together and all hold together, because at some point you're going to crumble. If you don't crumble behind closed doors, then at some point you'll crumble outside in front of everybody. At some point. And it it goes to say that, you know, what goes on in the dark comes out in the light. It's hard. I can tell you firsthand, it's hard. It's hard. And sometimes you think to yourself, I don't even want to feel like this. I don't even want to feel like, I got to hold on to everything. I don't even want to feel like, I got it all put together. Like, I need therapy. I need to do something. And I will tell you this. I used to feel that same way. The first time I started talking to a therapist, I said, I feel like a robot. I feel robotic. I feel like, there are so many things that has gone on in my childhood, that's gone on in my younger years, and this and that. And I come from, where people like to sweep things under the rug, and I have to taught to hold it together and taught to just hold on to these things, that I feel robotic. And you may not think sometimes that it affects you, but subconsciously it does. And God has literally made me, once I started being more vulnerable and started looking at myself and stopped having so many walls up and having to feel like I have to keep it all together, and I don't want to show any type of weakness because somebody will look at me a certain type of way. Once I started doing that, the best thing in the world is you when you are living in your truth, and when you become more vulnerable, when you ain't afraid to cry in public, when you ain't afraid to cry to a family member, when you ain't afraid to cry to a friend or whichever. And yes, me personally, I'm a strong person. I come on here and I like to motivate and inspire, but there are parts of me that are weak. There are parts of me that are weak but strong because God strengthened me in them. And I don't mind saying, how I have this issue or that issue, because it strengthens me. It strengthens me just to say it, because I used to couldn't even say it. I used to couldn't say that, I have intrusive thoughts. I used to couldn't say, my anxiety is breaking me down today, or this and that. I used to couldn't cry. I used to couldn't do any of that. And God was like, look, you need to change today. You have a inner self. You need to find it. Your pain needs to be pain and not anger. Your pain needs to be exactly what it is. You need to talk about exactly what it is. You need to express your pain as pain and not cover it as anger, because that's the hard part of you. The pain, you have a strength and a weakness. You're human. Your strength also comes from your weakness, and your weakness and telling God, hey, God, today I am vulnerable. Hey, God, today I'm feeling pain. And if you got to tell a person that puts you in pain, I'm feeling pain, that's what you got to do. If you have to find your vulnerability, that's what you got to do. Because everybody, whether you're a man or a woman or whichever, everybody got some part of vulnerability. You can hide it all day. You can, put on a brave face. Yes. But deep down inside, there are things that have affected you. There are times you've been hurt. There are times that people have hurt you, or you hurt yourself, or you feel bad about yourself. And I'm here to say, I was that person. And I thank God. So I cannot not thank God enough. Because that is one thing I will always remember. And God, like I say, it's like a skeleton key. You just don't open one door with one thing, you open all the other doors. When I say I thought that God telling me to be more vulnerable was more about family and relationship and everything else, yeah, that's what I thought. It was just about that. But no, it was for me to come on here and encourage you guys. It was for me to, be open and come on here and be transparent and let you know, yeah, you look at me and I'm a little edgy and I come off, I like to motivate and everything else. But it took me to come to a point, and I still have weaknesses. But God opened doors and opening keys and God opening all type of doors emotionally. God, you hear about when God opened doors for you financially, God opened doors for you for this or that, but God opened doors for you emotionally. Multiple doors. The vulnerability was a skeleton key to open other doors, to open other locks. And I am so more prepared for what is more God have to come. But this was a penny for my thoughts. I want to say, get in touch with your vulnerability. Open your mind, open your heart, and let God change anything and everything. Like I always say, keep your mental healthy. I want to thank everybody for cashing in for a penny of my thoughts. If you like my content, like, comment, and subscribe.